day, everyone. So, for today's discussion, we will be tackling about national differences in political economy. So, for the learning objectives, after learning this chapter, you will be able to understand how the political systems of countries differ, understand how the economic systems of countries differ, understand how the legal systems of countries differ, and explain the implications for management practice of national differences in political economy. But before diving deep into today's lesson, let us discuss first a case, which is the Polish surprise. So, during this time, Poland managed to grow its economy during the 2008 and 2009 global financial crisis, while most other European countries were struggling. Poland's success was due to a mix of sound economic policies, a stable political system, and a bit of luck. After transitioning from a communist government to a democratic one in 1989, Poland embraced market-based reforms, joined the European Union in 2004, and became a significant exporter. The government also maintained fiscal discipline, which kept investors' confidence high, avoiding the financial crisis that hit other countries. Additionally, Poland's strict monetary policy earlier in the 2000s prevented the asset bubbles that caused problems elsewhere. Poland also benefited from economic stimulus measures in Germany, one of its key trading partners. Despite these successes, the passage also notes that Poland still faces challenges like high unemployment, a complicated tax system, and lingering bureaucracy, though the government is working to address these issues. Doing business internationally is indeed much more complex than doing businesses within one country, because countries differ in many important ways. These differences include their political, economic, and legal systems, levels of economic development, and cultural practices. Such variations affect how businesses operate in different countries and the strategies they should use. This chapter's main goal is to help readers understand how these differences impact international business and why it's important to consider them when expanding into different countries. Let's use Poland as an example. Before 1989, Poland had a communist government with a centrally planned economy, which made it hard for private and international business to thrive. However, after embracing democracy and a market-based economy, Poland transformed into one of the most successful former communist states. It privatized many state-owned businesses and opened its markets to foreign investment, even joined the European Union in 2004, which helped drive its growth. Even during the 2008 and 2009 global financial crisis, Poland was the only European country that continued to grow. While Poland still has challenges like reforming its tax code and reducing regulations, it is now a strong and stable democracy that offers many opportunities for international businesses. Overall, this chapter aims to show how understanding the political, economic, and legal systems of different countries is crucial for successfully doing business internationally. Now it's time to proceed to political system. Political system of a country influences its economic and legal systems, so it's important to understand different types of political systems. A political system refers to how a country is governed. Political systems can be categorized in two main ways: collectivism versus individualism, and democratic versus totalitarian. Collectivism versus individualism means that some political systems focus more on the group as a whole, which is called collectivism, while others prioritize individual rights and freedoms, which is called individualism. While democratic versus totalitarian means that some countries have democratic systems where people have a say in the government, while others have totalitarian systems where a single ruler or party has a complete control. These two categories are connected. Systems that emphasize collectivism often lean toward totalitarianism, and those that value individualism tend to be more democratic. However, there are exceptions where democratic countries might blend collectivism and individualism, and some totalitarian countries might not be strictly collectivist.
A pleasant day, everyone. Let me discuss about the idea of collectivism. and its connection between communist and a socialist society. Collectivism is a principle or ideology that emphasizes the importance of the group or community over individual interest. In collectivist societies, the well-being of the group, whether it's a family, community, or nation, takes precedence over personal autonomy. Decisions are often made with the collective good in mind, and cooperation, interdependence, and shared responsibilities are highly valued. Both socialism and communism are rooted in collectivist ideals, emphasizing the collective good, shared ownership, and reducing inequalities. However, communism represents a more radical application of collectivisms compared to socialism. So, what is socialism? Socialism is an economic and political system where the means of production, like factories, land, and resources, are owned or regulated by the community as a whole, often through the state. The goal is to reduce inequality by ensuring that wealth and resources are distributed more evenly across society. Socialism is inherently collectivist because it prioritizes the welfare of the group over individual profit, advocating for shared ownership, a decision-making in economy. Now, what is communism? Communism takes collectivism even further. It is a classless, stateless society where all property is communally owned, and each person contributes and receives according to their ability and needs. Communism, as envisioned by Karl Marx, seeks to eliminate private property and capitalism altogether, creating a society where all resources and wealth are shared equally. Collectivism is central to communism because the system is designed to prioritize the needs of the community over the individual, with the ultimate goal of achieving equality and eliminating social classes. Let us now explore the idea of individualism. Individualism is the principle that emphasizes the moral worth and independence of the individual. It prioritizes individual rights, personal responsibility, and self-reliance over collective goals. In an individualistic society, people are encouraged to pursue their own paths, make their own choices, and bear the consequences of their actions. Individualism is deeply ingrained in Western culture, particularly in the United States, where the American dream reflects the idea of achieving success through personal effort and determination. Individualism is a powerful and influential concept that has shaped the way we live, work, and think. It promotes personal autonomy, freedom, and responsibility, but it must be balanced with an awareness of the common good and the needs of the community. As we navigate the complexities of modern society, understanding and critically evaluating individualism will help us find a balance between personal freedom and social responsibility.
Hello everyone, my name is Divine and I'll be discussing about democracy and totalitarianism, including Chavez Venezuela. So let's read the slide first. So democracy and totalitarianism. Democracy and totalitarianism represents opposite ends of political spectrum. Democracy is a system where the government is by the people, either directly or through elected representatives. In contrast, totalitarianism is a system where one person or political party has absolute control over all aspects of life and bans opposing political parties. While democracy often aligns with individualism and totalitarianism with collectivism. So let's explain it one by one. So let's start with what is democracy. So democracy is a system of government where power rests with people. Citizens have the right to choose their leaders through election and participate in the political process. It values individual liberties, freedom of speech, and the rule of law. Sa Tagalog naman, ang demokrasya ay isang mahalagang sistema ng pamahalaan dahil nagbibigay ito ng pagkakataon sa mga mamamayan na magkaroon ng boses sa kanilang pamahalaan. Sa pamamagitan ng halalan, ang mga mamamayan ay mamimili ng mga pinunong sumasalamin sa kanilang paniniwala at interes. So, isa sa mga halimbawa ng democratic country is ang bansa natin. We undergo voting to choose kung sino ang mamumuno sa atin. Katulad ng nauna kong sinabi, we have the power to choose people to lead us. Kaya mahalaga ang pag-isipan ng maigi ang pagpili kung sino ang maglilid sa atin. So, the next one is Chavez, Venezuela. So, who is Chavez, Venezuela? Chavez, Venezuela, or Hugo Chavez, was elected president of Venezuela in December 1998. He became famous for his Bolivarian Revolution. So, in my slides, hindi ko na po babasahin ko ano nasa slides ko, but i-explain ko na lang. So, noong 2008, nagkaroon ng pag-angat ang kita ng Venezuela mula sa langis. Dahil sa record high na presyo ng langis, ito ay nagbigay daan sa state-run oil company na mag-ipon ng malaking reserva. Subalit ang pagdaigdigang krisis at pagbagsak ng ekonomiya noong huli ng 2008 ay nagdulot ng malaking pagbaba sa presyo ng langis. Ito ay nagdulot ng presyon sa ekonomiya ng Venezuela na lubos na umaasa sa langis na inuluwas nila para sa budget. Ang gobyerno na nasa ilalim ni Hugo Chavez ay kinakailangan gumawa ng mahirap na desisyon sa pagitan ng pondo para sa mga programa ng lipunan at para sa industriya ng langis. Ang pagbagsak ng presyo ng langis ay nagpapakita rin ng kahinaan ng ekonomiya ng Venezuela sa global na market fluctuations. Gayunpaman, ang malaking reserba ng Venezuela at ang kontrol ng gobyerno sa foreign exchange ay nakatulong upang maibsan ang agarang epekto ng pagbaba ng presyo ng langis. In this slide, here are the lists on how they safeguard their representative to be accountable for their action. So this belongs to representative democracy, which include in the first slide. So first, what is the representative democracy? Representative democracy is a system where citizens elect representatives to make decisions on their behalf. These representatives form a government enacting laws and policies that reflect the will of the people. It balances direct citizen participation with efficient governance. This system allows for a greater diversity of views and expertise within the government, making it suitable for a larger population and complex issues. The Philippines is a prime example of a representative democracy. The examples would be the Philippine Congress, the President, or local government like the governors, the mayors, and the council members. In the list, it includes the number 1, an individual's right to freedom of expression, opinion, and organization. Number 2, a free media. 3, regular election in which all eligible citizens are allowed to vote. 4, universal adult suffrage. 5, limited terms for elected representatives. 6 is a fair court system that is independent from the political system. And this slide is the continuation of totalitarianism. So what is totalitarianism? It is a political system where the state exerts absolute control over all aspects of public and private life, suppressing individual liberties and dissent. It's characterized by a single party or individual holding power, a pervasive ideology, and use of propaganda, surveillance, and violence to maintain control. Sa Tagalog naman po, ang totalitarianismo ay isang sistema ng pamahalaan kung saan kontrolado ng Estado ang lahat ng aspekto ng buhay. Pinipigilan ng individual ng kalayaan at oposisyon. Pinapadapat nito ang isang ideolohiya at gumagamit ng propaganda, surveillance at karahasan upang mapanatili ang kapangyarihan. Isa sa mga halimbawang bansa ay ang North Korea. Continuation for the forms of totalitarianism. Next is the tribal totalitarianism. So what is tribal totalitarianism? It is occur when a specific ethnic group dominates and suppresses other groups aiming for homogeneous society. The Rwandan genocide is a tragic example. Next is the right-wing totalitarianism. Right-wing totalitarianism, often associated with fascism, prioritizes national unity and order over individual liberties. It emphasizes traditional values, strong leadership, and hierarchical society. Nazi Germany is a prime example. Both tribal and right-wing totalitarianism prioritize state power over individual rights, using oppressive tactics to maintain control.
So, for economic systems, political ideology and economic systems are connected. In countries where individual goals are given primacy over collective goals, we are more likely to find market-based economic systems. In contrast, in countries where collective goals are given prominence, the states may have taken control over many enterprises. Markets in such countries are likely to be restricted rather than the free. We can identify three broad types of economics: the market economy, a command economy, and a mixed economy. So, for the market economy, in a pure market economy, all productive activities are privately owned, and production is driven by the interactions of supply and demand, with prices signaling producers on what and how much to produce. The one of example of the market economy. In a pure market economy, numerous companies would compete to produce and sell smartphones. Consumers would choose the phones they prefer based on the price, features, and quality. If one company offered a particular innovative phone with a lower price, consumers would flock to it, signaling to other companies to either improve their offerings or risk losing market share. This competition would drive innovation and keep prices relatively low. So next is for command economy. In a pure command economy, the government controls all aspects of productions, including what goods and services are produced, their quantities, and their prices, with the aim of serving the collective good. All businesses are state-owned, allowing the government to direct investment for the national interest rather than the private gain. So imagine that a country called New Harmony. So this is the one of the example of the command economy. So they have a central planning, which decides that the country needs to focus on producing agricultural goods, heavy machinery, and basic consumer goods. Next is for the mixed economy. These are the combined elements of both market and command economies, with certain sectors operating under the private ownership and free market principles, while others have significant state ownership and government planning. Historically common mixed economies have become less prevalent due to the widespread privatization in countries like the Great Britain, France, and Sweden. However, the governments in the mixed economies may still intervene by taking over the troubled firms to protect the national interest, as seen in cases like the French government's intervention in Renault and the US government's bailout of AIG and General Motors during the financial crisis. These government interventions are typically viewed as temporary measures aimed at preventing economic collapse, with the intention of returning the companies to private ownership as soon as feasible. So next is for the legal systems. A country's legal systems encompasses the rules and laws that regulates behavior, enforce standards, and provides avenues for the grievance redress. This system is crucial for international business as it governs business practices, transaction execution, and the rights and obligations of the involved parties. Legal systems vary significantly across countries, often shaped by the prevailing political systems and historical traditions. So these are the example of the legal systems. So the totalitarian states with the collectivist ideologies may impose strict laws limiting private enterprise, while democratic states with individualist ideologies typically favor laws supporting private enterprise and consumer rights. Key aspects of legal systems that impacts international business include the contract law, property rights such as patents, copyrights, and the trademarks, intellectual property protections, and the product safety and liability laws. Next is for the common law. So the common law systems, which originated in England and is now found in many its former colonies like the United States, is based on tradition, precedents, and customs. This system's flexibility allows judges to interpret laws in the context of individual cases, setting new precedents that can influence future legal decisions. As these precedents involve, laws can be clarified, amended, or adapted to address new circumstances, making the common law systems more adaptable than other legal systems. So for the civil law, these are then structured around a comprehensive set of the laws organized into codes, which guide judicial decisions, unlike the common law systems where judges interpret the law based on the tradition. Precedent and the customs judges in the civil law system focus strictly on applying the specific codes. These systems used in over 80 countries including Germany, France, Japan, and Russia, and it is typically less adversarial and offers judges less flexibility as they are bound by the established legal codes rather than the interpretative practices. So last law is the theocratic law. So this is the law of the base of the religious teaching. Islamic law is the most widely practiced theocratic legal system in the modern world. Though usage of both Hindu and Jewish law persisted into the 20th century, Islamic law is primarily moral rather than the commercial law and is intended to govern all the aspects of life.